Education is the foundation upon which we build our lives, shaping not only our minds but also our character and aspirations. It is more than just acquisition of knowledge. Education is a journey of discovery, a path that opens doors to new opportunities, broadens our horizons, and empowers us to reach our fullest potential. Talking about discoveries, recently 8 future Masters and PhD students came to Uzbekistan to participate in the Uzbekistan Discovery Camp, Silk Road and Cultural Exploration program organized by WIDMANN. During the program, the students dived deeper into the Uzbek culture, particularly by learning its language. In the interview with one of the participants, we have discussed the education systems of Germany and Uzbekistan and talked about their important aspects. Why have you decided to travel to Uzbekistan and learn our language?
It's a country that I did not know much about before, so I was really interested in learning more about Uzbekistan and the culture here, and also travel to a region that is kind of far away and that not many people in Germany have visited before. So that was really interesting, and in general I like learning languages, and Uzbek is a language that is so different from German and all of the other languages that I have learned so far that it seemed really interesting to just try to get into a new language system.
I see. Do you find anything difficult when learning Uzbek?
Yes, a lot of it is challenging because the structure of the language is very different to German. So I have to always remember to make the sentences in a different order than I would do in German, so that's sometimes difficult. And the pronunciation is also sometimes a challenge. Yes, and we are learning a lot in a very short time, so keeping it all in my mind is also a challenge. But overall, I really enjoy it. It's really interesting.
Great. Since we're talking about learning, let's dive deeper into education, and I have something to discuss in regards to the system of education. Could you first talk about the education system in Germany? How is it structured?
Yes, so we usually start with primary school, when we're 6 years old. Then we have, depending on the region you live in, 4 or 6 years of primary school. And then we go into secondary school, which also has different lengths depending on which type of school you choose. So you can either do until 9th grade, you can go until 10th grade, or you can go until 12th or 13th grade. So there are a lot of differences also depending on the region where you live in Germany. And then afterwards, after you finish school, you can decide to either do an apprenticeship, which is a combined system where you are working already in a company or with a handyman, or so you're working part of your time, and the other part of the time you're continuing to go to school to learn also the theoretical parts of the job that you're learning. So you can be trained, for example, as a person that repairs cars, or as a as a nurse. So the more practical jobs you learn in an apprenticeship, or you can decide to study at a university, or in a it's not quite a university, it would be maybe a technical university, which is also a bit more like an applied university, where you are also doing more practical things. And then in the universities it's much more focused on the science and research part. And yes, there you can either, you usually start with the bachelor, which is for 3 years, and then you can decide to continue with a master, which then is still 2 years. And there are some programs that are not in the bachelor-master system, but most programs nowadays, they are within this bachelor-master system.
You have been talking about the part after school where students go to the certain jobs, right? Mm-hmm. And they learn both academic and practical parts.
Yes.
Here in Uzbekistan, we call this as lyceums and colleges, mm-hmm. where we orient students, and then afterwards, that's like exchanging the 9th and 11th grades. Instead of that, some students go to lyceums, mm-hmm. and then after that, when they orient with the jobs, they enroll to universities. But most of the time, it's not the same major as it is in the university. And in this regard, I have a question. So right now we have a system where students learn lots of subjects at school, and they usually typically graduate like 11 grades, and then most students don't know where to go. And now we have a system where they have examination, where they give exams for most of the subjects they have learned at school, and depending on the points that they have got, the government orients them to different types of universities. Does this limit their choice in the future, and will this demotivate them to study further, in your opinion?
Yes, I think so. Like in Germany, I think it is similar that even though it's 12 or 13 years of school, a lot of people don't know what to do afterwards. And then depending on the grade you get, you are also limited in the choices of programs that you can study, because, for example, medicine has a very high average. So if you want to study medicine, you have to have the best grades, even though it's not a centralized state exam. It's still depending on your individual exam that you take at your school, if you can study that. So I think it it limits people in what they can choose.
That is interesting. It looks like the examination system are pretty similar in Germany and Uzbekistan. What would you suggest so that these grades and examination would not have a high influence on students, so that by the end of their graduation, for them it will not be difficult to choose the field that they would like to study in and not limit themselves?
I think in Germany we are often quite limited by the regulations that we have to get to the Abitur. So we have to choose certain subjects for, it has changed a little bit since I went to high school, because I did my Abitur almost 10 years ago. So it has changed a little bit. But when I did it, I had to take German and math as a mandatory subjects, and then I had to choose one foreign language. I had to choose one science. One foreign language. Then I had to choose a foreign language or a science, and then only the fifth subject I could choose freely. So I think this is quite limiting, because that means I absolutely have to do certain subjects that I might not be very good at, and that might not be very helpful for my later career path. So I think opening up this, for example, so that people can choose more freely what is actually interesting to them and what they are good at, would help people to already in school kind of set the focus on the things that they like, and then that's maybe a better preparation also for the later paths in life. Of course, sometimes when you're young you don't know what you like, but I think opening up these systems would help to choose more freely and to just go more after your interests, and maybe also find your interests if you're not limited by the regulations on which subjects you have to choose.
The government of Uzbekistan has introduced IT classes for the students in the primary school. Do you believe, considering our modern world, this would have a positive or maybe negative impact on students? And does Germany have a certain experience as well?
I think it's very important to integrate IT classes from an early age on, because a lot of kids, they start using phones and tablets at a very young age. So I think it's important that they learn on how to properly use them, and also to know maybe what dangers are connected to using these technologies, and that they are aware what can happen on the internet, for example. And also at a young age, children learn so fast and they learn so intuitively that I think it sets a good basis for them to already get in touch with these technologies, that will make it much easier for them later in life when they have to go into a deeper level. So I think it's a good idea. And in Germany, I think it's always a bit of a struggle, because Germany is not the most advanced when it comes to IT technology, and especially IT education in schools. I think it's becoming a lot better, and I think a lot of schools also nowadays, they have tablets at their school and can give tablets to all every child, and then they can learn with it. But during my school time, I had IT classes in 5th grade, and then some IT classes in 7th grade, but my teacher, his wife got a child, so he was on parental leave, and then there was no teacher to substitute for him, so we didn't have IT classes anymore. And after 7th grade, there were no IT classes at all anymore.
So would you say that Germany is more of a traditional type of school?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yes. I think it has changed and improved a lot, but I think comparing to other European nations, Germany still has like a lot to catch up with.
Let's talk more about higher education, university, masters, postgraduate, etc. Germany is known for having a free education, not more for bachelor's, but more for master's and PhD, as I know. But here in Uzbekistan, we have contracts, and maybe in Germany there are also contracts with fees for university. Some students, maybe not only in Uzbekistan but in other countries, depending on the fees rates, cannot afford education. So do you believe this leads towards the loss of, like, lowers the rates of intelligence, and students are getting demotivated to study? And do you believe that the fees for at least governmental universities should be free?
Yes, I think that like education should be as free as possible so that everybody can have the access to it. I think it's a pity that some people don't have the opportunity to study because of their like economic background, and the university fees are one part that the state can like regulate. So I think having like very low fees or no fees is a very important thing. Like also in Germany, it's not 100% free, so we do have a small fee that we have to pay every semester. It varies like in the university, but it's usually something between 150 and 350 euro per semester. And I think almost every university in Germany by now has integrated a ticket for the public transport into this fee. So we pay for the university, but at the same time we also pay for the access to the public transport. I think what is also important is to help students that come from lower economic backgrounds with like scholarships or small credits.
Here in Uzbekistan, actually, we have a big privilege which was introduced recently for girls and women who want to study masters. It's free for for women in the public universities.
That's great.
Yeah. Another interesting question based on the personal experience. Most of the girls here in Uzbekistan choose education as one of their measures to study, and there are statistics that girls have more potential to learn than guys. They're more lazy, and girls have more intellectual potential, as they say. Why do you believe that most girls choose teaching as their field of studies?
I think it has to do a lot on how we are socialized as women. We are like, at least in Germany, we are still taught to take care of people and to be like open and friendly towards other people. And I think to boys, it's taught much less that they should take care of other people. And also when you look at the games that children play, I always played school with my friends and my sister, and like house where I was acting as mother, and then my friend was the father, and we had a baby and stuff like that. And boys play these kinds of games much less, and I think that's just the first step on how, as women, we learn that we should be friendly towards other people and to teach other people. And at the same time, I think women are also encouraged less by society to go into technological fields, for example. And so they're like, from what is left, I think teaching is also a part or a job in Germany that is that you can pair well with having a family. Like it's quite easy to work part-time, and so I think these are like factors that play into a lot of girls and women choosing to to go into teaching.
In essence, education is the key that unlocks the future, enabling individuals to create better lives for themselves and to make a lasting impact on the world. As we have discussed and compared education systems of Uzbekistan and Germany, they appear to be similar and on their way to innovation and improvements in the future.